But the same thing happens with Google and all that kind of stuff. Like nobody from Google knows how the search algorithm actually works. Like there's nobody you can point to in Google that can explain every single search result. The only thing that can do that is the AI that is powering the algorithm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a matter of time before you see that for, I think, many other applications, I guess, not just search. But you mentioned GPT-3. And that's not general intelligence. It's much more, it's a parrot on steroids, as you say. But what about GPT 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, whatever it might be in the future?
So that's a very good question. And it's of course, it's hard to say. And there are two schools of thoughts. There's people, especially Google. I actually had a chance to have a chat with Jeff Dean, who's the top Google guy.
Nice.
I met him in a conference.
He's notoriously famous. There's a lot of Jeff Dean jokes, I think, within Google also.
His phone number is the whole pie.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. But no, he was also extremely chill and open. And one of the things he says is that Google still thinks that more data and more computing power is the key.
Right.
So just more. And I get it, because if you see, people thought that the performances were going to saturate the more you increase data and increase computing power. It doesn't look like it's happening.
Right.
So GPT-3 is just basically, they took GPT-2, which was amazing, by the way. Then they said, hey, more
power, more data.
More power, more data, more neurons, more everything. And hey, it works so much better than GPT-2. So GPT-4, there's some people that say eventually, if we get to something that is as complex as the human brain, let's say, as powerful, with as much data, we're gonna get to general AI. That's what some people think. I don't necessarily agree with this, because the way that these things work, the way that these algorithms are built by trying to optimize a metric, it's just doing pattern recognition. And pattern recognition, it's not the only thing that humans do, right? Humans work really well when you're outside of patterns. So the way that GPT-3 was trained, which is basically given a set of words, predict the next one.
Right.
It's not how we think, It's, again, if I make an example of something very weird, if I say, hey, Mark drank the book, something that doesn't make any sense, okay? Me and you would be able to imagine maybe a strange world where books are liquid, or maybe he blended it and then he drank it. And AI has never read anything like this, because, and for the way that it was built, so by predicting words, that are going to come next, since there's nothing in the world about Mark drinking books, it's just going to be completely like, I have no idea what is going on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, you can give it as much data as you can, since the logic behind it, the logic that allows these systems to learn, is still based on something that is fundamentally non-human, which is just predicting words one after the other. You're never going to get to the full spectrum of human intelligence.
But do you think we will ever reach a point? The example that I like to make always is, let's say you see a cat running through or running past the window here. The human mind will immediately recognize that as a cat, because the object that passed by the window is, let's say, black, moved in the way that a cat does, is more or less the same size as the cats that I've seen in the past. So immediately my human brain, your human brain, will come to the conclusion that that was a cat. Whereas if you point a camera to the window and an AI had to recognize the object as a cat, they would have to scan through the entire database of cats with the right angle in terms of lights and the movement of the cat and all that stuff. And then when there is a match from a previous picture that was taken of a cat that matches whatever picture was taken with the cat passing by the window, then the AI will conclude that that's a cat.
Yeah.
But do you think we'll ever reach a point where AI, GPT-20, whatever it might be, whatever organization is going to have a breakthrough, where the AI algorithm thinks more and more similarly to how our brains resonate and come to conclusions?